Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Luke Beller with the Sideline Scoop. So today, being Friday, we only have 2 days till the NFL season starts. Only 2 days till the Packers play the Vikings. And as I've said in the past few videos, I'm most likely going live during that game. So make sure you turn your post notifications on so that way you get notified whenever I do go live so you guys can, be there. Of course, if you want to. If you don't want to, just watch the game, have fun, enjoy yourself. But in today's video, I sort of want to break down a topic that, I don't know, I just think it's sort of funny to think about and sort of talk about. And that's the fact that I think the Packers are so underrated. Considering last season we ended being 13-3, one of the best teams in the NFC, besides, of course, the 49ers who ended up beating us. But the fact that we made it to the NFC Championship, and I just think people are so down on the Packers. And I think that it's almost made the Packers underdogs, in a way that's sort of, I don't know, it's sort of odd to think that, the Packers could be 13-3. And then, people are sort of doubting on Aaron Rodgers. They're sort of doubting the Packers, just sort of in general. And, maybe that's because they sort of, did terrible in the NFC Championship game. I don't exactly know why that might be the case. But I think they're insanely underrated. And I think there's lots of, benefits to being underrated. Because, if you're one of the top teams in the NFL, like let's say the Ravens, for example. People are planning out for the Ravens. Everyone wants to destroy the Ravens because, they're so insanely good last year. And they're still sort of hyped up. Whereas the Packers are sort of just going under the radar. It's like people aren't really seemingly, in the media. Of course, the media is not always, correct in, the sports sphere of sort of maybe what's going on. But it seems in the media that people are sort of down on Aaron Rodgers. They're down on the Packers in general. They're down on the Packers defense. And the Packers just sort of floating along, just sort of moving along. No one really watching them. No one really paying attention to them. And I think, with the Packers being underrated like that, they can just sort of sneakily, just slowly win games, slowly be one of the best teams in the NFC, and then slowly win the Super Bowl, Why not do that? So I think one of the arguments that people have is, like when you take the Packers last year, they had so many close games. I can't remember the exact number. It was a lot of close games where the Packers ended up pulling up, or I guess like winning the game at the end, when the games were super close. And lots of people were discussing like, well, if they would have, if it would have been like a normal season, they probably would have lost like 3 or 4 more games, but they sort of got lucky. They ended up winning those games. And, maybe there's a little luck, but, I don't know too much about that. But I think that's funny that they would use that sort of idea for the Packers to really just sort of not be a great team this season. And I think considering, when you look at this team, like thinking about it, last year was our first year in Matt Lafleurs' system. And now we pretty much have the same offensive group mostly. There's a few differences, of course. We don't no longer have Brian Bulaga. We added A.J. Dillon. There's a few things that might be a little bit different about this offense. But overall, it's pretty much the same group. And now the Packers have a year under their belt under a new system. You'd have to think coming into the second year that, they just have a lot more chemistry. They just sort of know what's going on. And they would just be much better and be much more improved coming into the second year of the offensive scheme. And so I think the fact that people sort of are down on Aaron Rodgers, it sort of just gives him this underdog mentality to sort of prove people wrong and just come out and just really, just do insanely well. That's sort of what I personally believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that that's going to lead Aaron Rodgers to really just come out and just like sling it. And then if we sort of take a look at this Packers defense, of course last year, all people remember is the fact that, I think as everyone was watching the 49ers game, the NFC Championship game, everyone saw the Packers just get run over. And I think that's one of the reasons, as I discussed earlier in the video, why I think people are so down on the Packers, because that's all they remember. They don't remember that this defense is honestly pretty solid. Besides, being a, middle-of-the-road run defense, maybe one of the, maybe lower half run defense, overall, this defense was pretty good, honestly, for the Packers in the past few years. Like, if we take a look, especially at the pass rush, with the Smith brothers, and now, of course, you got Kenny Clark signed for a long contract. I just think that, this defensive line especially is very, very stacked. And now when you take a look at sort of this cornerback group, this safety group, there were lots of young guys last year. Now this year, lots of them have a lot more experience under their belt. Jair Alexander, Kevin King, all these guys, they just have so much more experience coming into this next year for lots of them. And so I think that, considering that, I think that the Packers and Mike Pettin have really sort of looked at what went wrong last year, especially in the NFC Championship game with the run defense, and sort of have tried to, maneuver it basically to improve our, run defense coming into this year. And so I think that, this Packers team, we haven't added that many new people. There's just so much more chemistry. Coming into the second year for the offense, the defense is going to have more experience, more chemistry together. I think overall, this Packers team is honestly going to be better overall this upcoming season. And maybe we won't be 13-3 like last year, because that is a solid record, and it's pretty tough to be 13-3 in the NFL. I think it's still very possible for the Packers to, be 13-3. Personally, I think I predicted a few months ago when I was looking at the season, like maybe we could be like 10-6, 11-5. I think that we could definitely, be in that realm of outcomes. But the way people are talking about the Packers, it basically makes it sound like they're going to be like 6-10 the way they're sort of talking about the Packers. But maybe I'm just watching the wrong people, but I don't know. I just think that we're going to be a solid team this year. People better watch out. They don't really know exactly what's coming. They're not ready for Aaron Rodgers to just sling it down their throats. They're not ready for that. But that's basically what I wanted to touch on this video. Just a fun little video before the Packers season starts on Sunday. Only 2 days away. It's been the offseason for so long, and now it's actually going to have some football. We're going to have some real things to talk about, some real players to talk about, some real plays, everything that's going on. So if you guys don't want to miss that content in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. Make sure you turn on your post notifications. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the like button down below. That would be greatly appreciated. But I thank you guys for watching. Go Pack, go, baby. We will see you on Sunday. Let's go.